Hello guys, and welcome back to Al003. Please like, subscribe, and share the content, and please buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com if you want to support the channel. So today, what we're going to talk about is the influence on human perception. And I was going to call it something else, but I think I may title this The Hero's Journey, because it's a good metaphor for kind of what I want to get into. So first of all, let's start at the beginning. We find ourselves here in life, born. And as far as we know, we don't know who we are. We don't know where we came from. It could be that we just, this could be our first experience and we're just whatever, but probably not likely. It's probably likely, we are consciousness at our base, that's for sure. We know that, and the beginning of that and the end of that, it may have no boundaries, So it's very likely we came from somewhere else prior to where we're here. I don't want to get into like anything too, but anyway, let's just go from there, from this perspective, okay? So we grow up, we go to school, and we have, typically we have an environment that we're suited to, and we are influenced by what we learn, what we know, who's around us, that kind of thing. We also have our own feelings, but you get a kind of a collective, you come to these conclusions by taking these things into account, okay? Now one day when you're an adult, you come to adulthood, depending on who you are and the background you are or you came from. This serves as a good example because from my life, I actually came from like a city environment, but I was dealing with family that was in like country at the time. So, but anyway, so you have two men here, okay? And perspective's sake, let's say basically they're identical, but one man grew up on a pig farm, one man grew up on a city and in a city environment. And so this man's parents, his lineage, his town, is all from that environment of a farmer and those ideals and those morals. So ideally, mostly, when we factor into decisions in life and what we're doing, we tend to do what's best for us. I mean, we're looking out for number one primarily. It's just how we are. So let's say these two individuals are going to, let's say, a presidential candidate. And all this noise, all this influence that, people saying this, people saying that I'm talking about, like let's call it the consciousness collective. And you'll hear this on both sides, just for example's sake. This is the kind of noise you hear: criminal, bigot, racist. On the other side, you might hear criminal, cognitive decline, obsessed with children's ears, that kind of thing. But my point is if you take away these positions of these people, neither one of these people probably like these people. If they weren't in this position to have some kind of influence over their lives, they were just regular people they ran into, they're probably not people they would associate with. They're probably garbage, both of them. So, but here we are, we're at a crossroads where these two individuals need to make a decision that's going to influence the trajectory of their life, and they want what's going to work out best for them. This guy may want, his concerns are, tax exemptions for farmers and this and the other. This guy may want strong union things, better healthcare, whatever. They're all good things. They're going to help them individually, and that's their primary concerns. They're not really, we are not so much concerned about the other side and how it's going to affect them. And if you ever look at these, it's funny because I see them online where you see these people that they'll be interviewed, and like, you know, vote for this person, you vote for that. Why? And they're like they have no real reason, because a lot of them are just have heard they're surrounded in an environment where they heard much love for one person or enough hate or another about somebody else, and that's primarily what has influenced them. It's really sad how rarely you can even ask a person, why would you vote for them? Because I'm not promoting either one. I'm just saying it's hilarious. But yet, you know, you put these two in a room, you know, and discuss these topics, and a lot of times it's a big mess. Because in their mind, there's some kind of division between these two, you know, but in reality, it's just, they're just suiting their needs best. It's, you know, just what they want to do. So the thing about these candidates is, you better believe in high levels of office, they are definitely coached in the science of perception. They tell them how to behave, how to act, the mannerisms, all this, because they know how powerful it is and how effective it is. There's a lot of power in convincing the world to see through your lens. Okay, so primarily this is about, you know, just promoting you guys to just realize that there's a lot more out there, and you know, and truth comes from here. It doesn't come from that, you know. So both these candidates want to influence you for their same thing, for their own influence. It's going to suit them best. What's going to give them the best journey. Okay. Now, let's go over here. From a remote viewing perspective. Now, as far as influence, even in the remote viewing community, people are trying to control in your perception of things. Okay. Here's a big one. Best RV product in town. No evidence to support it, but everybody's got the best product in town, right? Okay. Which makes no sense. All right, but the reason why they do that is because it's primarily because, you know, they don't want to sell you anything that would be perceived as inferior. So they promote their stuff as the best product in town, when in reality there really is no comparison. It's just word of mouth. And that goes for all schools. Okay. Another one in remote viewing you might hear. We are in the transition to a new financial system. Okay. I am not a fan of remote viewing, not necessarily the remote viewing of cryptocurrency, but the way it's promoted. Because the people that promote we are in a transition to a new financial system are so wrapped up in that they literally, a lot of them are promoting the death of the dollar and pushing that narrative basically to serve their own ends, to make this become a reality. And when you're making a claim that some of this currency, and yet you have to promote it for people to buy into it, and you have to basically bash the US dollar in order to kind of push your narrative, I don't like it. I don't like it. But I need to be more patient with people like that, and I'm trying. Because I think it's wrong, and I think it's not good for this field to approach something like that way. But whatever. Here's another one. Don't change the original protocol. That is the only and all answer. Don't grow. Don't innovate. Stay exactly where you are. Okay? You'll get that out of some of the older regimes. And then they dance their puppets. But that's, again, that's someone who, and someone like that has an understanding of the value of perception and is trying to push that narrative into your mind. So if you go to, you're thinking you're missing out on something because of this, that, or the other. So I'm just trying to make you aware that, it's everywhere. Okay. It's just a point here. The future of RV will be paperless and done within the mind alone. And beings of the universe who know and realize this would be laughing at our human ignorance over our style of training wheels, our style of training wheels, instead of concentrating on taking them off. So unless I'm doing a project for someone specifically that they want it done a certain way, or I'm doing something on the whiteboard for the channel, just to be completely honest, guys, a lot of the remote viewing I do today is right here. I mean, I grab a recorder, I record and describe everything I'm seeing. Because I have taken that whole paper process and put it right here. I could use my finger to draw an ideogram. I could put, so like, I give a lot of credit to like Dave and those guys and Cowboy and visual remote viewing or whatever, because that's the future of remote viewing, believe it or not. You don't have to believe that there's other consciousnesses out there, but you better believe this, that if there are, and they're more advanced than us, and they're not remote, they're not going to a matrix. Okay, stage 2, stage okay, play fair. Okay, I'm going to declare this is an AOL, and this is and for instead of like trying to reach for that next step where you don't have to depend on that paper, you guys are sitting here arguing over the style of the training wheels. So, and don't get me wrong, the reason why I could do that is because I have so much foundation of a paper methodology. I can now take it, put it up here, and do it all there. And the results are amazing. And I'll be bringing some of that out as time goes on. But point is, you've seen like Dave, you've seen Janae on Farsight. Because I could do it so much faster and effectively because I'm literally going kind of through the stages in my mind. I don't need to put the pen down in reality. I could put the pen down in my head and let that dissolve. So, but I couldn't just be there. I needed to get there. That was a journey which came through a paper methodology, but any of them will get you there. All that bickering and stuff, you're embarrassing yourselves, just so you know. And you keep reinventing it because that makes sense too. But whatever. So, question. Our government and other governments know the legitimacy of remote viewing. They created a program, they use it, they probably still use it today, and other psychic potentials. Why are they so quiet about it? You notice that? I mean, they don't deny it. They know it happened and stuff, but they certainly don't promote it. They don't, and I want you to ask yourself, what do you think a government's thought, as far as the defensive and everything, just politically everything, would think about having a nation full of remote viewers, psychically potential, they could literally just go and look in on this and that. It's scary. It's scary, okay? So instead of promoting it and presenting to the public the legitimacy and showing really some of the human untapped potentials, they're kind of pushing it down, okay? And for the longest time, it's pretty much been ignored. Knowing all this, you guys have seen me, you've seen others do this. Why isn't remote viewing not offered in our schools? I mean, we've got wood shop, we got home ec, and you can teach me how to build a pencil box, but you don't want to, or a bird house, but I can't. But you don't want to take the time and teach me how to explore time and space. It's, again, this stuff works. Okay, so it's, and you probably never will see it, or very rarely, because again, from my perspective, it's very clear. having the world be having this same kind of faculty is scary. Okay, so here's another how could we be in the middle of a disclosure, yet the topic is avoided so heavily by presidential candidates? I mean, I know the world is up in arms, and we got a lot of big problems right in our face right now with but we also have this big disclosure thing, which is on a lot of people's minds as well, and nothing. Literally, the presidents and presidential candidates avoid talking about it. They're afraid of the topic. So you got to wonder what that's about, guys. I mean, for the longest time, this was, I'm not trying to push any special narrative, but it's clear there's a system of control in place here in a dumbing down of what's known and what is not known about us and other things, okay? Here's another one. And Dick actually talked about this on a day I saw. But why is our news media so polarized? Why can't we just get the news? You cannot get, I mean, you probably can somewhere, but primarily you have one news media outlet aggressively pushing one narrative, and another, my hands are black from another pushing a narrative for the other campaign. That's not news. That's a corporation forcing an agenda via their scope of perception. It's not news. So back to the hero's journey. So along this path, you're going to come to an intersection of just another day or the pursuit of personal introspection and enlightenment, right? Well, you could do remote viewing from either one of those paths. Remote viewing is a human potential, not a enlightened gift. We could all do it. Now, primarily though, other than work ethic and stuff like that, you're going to be seriously limited if you take that path. Now, what I mean by it, you see a lot of these, I don't want to say anybody personally, but just a lot of the older regimes and stuff. The reason why I could do, now I could just remote view in my head and just record it all is because I never put a cap on my consciousness potential. This grows, okay? So every time I gained a step or leveled up, I always and still am reaching for the next step. What's next? These people that are in a hurry to get diplomas and do teaching, whatever the hell they're doing, just make the money, they put a capstone right on top of that. Your pyramid is done. That's as high as you go. Because all your intentions wrapped up in bullshit. So, just something to consider. Again, I'm not trying to teach you truth. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. Let's look at what you can offer. Okay, so if you just go the path of just another day, you pay your taxes, have kids, live life, remote view, and that's fine. Everybody is in their own path. Everybody is at their own level. In my opinion, it's a personal thing. It's easy to be, life is tough. It's hard enough just to get through the day. So I get it. But if you do use the pursuit of personal growth and introspection, you could become highly aware of the influences that I'm discussing now and others around you. All this stuff from this side, you could remote view. You could remote view without the burden of tools, like I'm talking about. You can, there's telepathic abilities that come with that. You can become a cause of real significant change as opposed to an effect of a change. Taking charge. You're taking the blinders off. because remote viewing for me was never about a parlor trick or just doing the minimum. It was kind of to get where I'm at now, where I could just do what I'm doing. I could just remote view. But it took a long time, and I'm still going. I'm still looking for the next thing. So when I look at people, fighting over these things, it really, to me, it's like children. But I'm like, kids. You know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, you see this a lot. You see subconscious, conscious mind. And if that's what you're doing, just remote viewing, that'll get you where you need to be. Or where you want to be, I should say. But I believe it's more than that. There's subconscious, there's conscious, and then there's this. That, and that. So I don't think it's a two-part harmony we got going. I think it's a four-part harmony. But it's going to be up to you guys to figure out what those are. So, a lot of part of it that comes along with this too is when we go back to this, who are you? Where did you come from? You can get some of those things back. You get some of those answers back through this intersection. But that's the hero's journey. That's taking that road. Okay, you want to be on, what we're all doing. You want to stay on level 1, stay on level 1. When you're ready, you'll be there. You'll go. But a lot of my purpose here, I believe, is not necessarily to show you what I can do on a whiteboard. A lot of what I show you guys here, at least what my hopes are, is for you guys to understand that you could do even more if you want to, if you really want to do it. And it's not going to come down to whose class you take. Like I said, the war is on human perceptual awareness, keeping our perspective narrow, having spoon-fed narratives and conditioning for others to do your thinking for you and feeling. So, it comes down to the individual in the end. Because I'll tell you, I had literally come to a wall at this point where I basically got as far as I could, until basically something told me, like, all right, you got that figured out. Now you got to work on this. You got to work on being more patient with people. You got to work on basically just being a better person. And I know that's kind of holistic, but remote viewing wise, I had kind of hit my pinnacle. I wanted more, and I'm getting it. But you don't get there by taking the easy road. That's just the way it is, as far as my perspective. So, and I'm not trying to get you guys to see through my lens. I want you to see through your own. That's, think for yourself. Take your own journey. Climb your own mountain. And be your own person. Don't see things through the lens of your guru. So, I think I've said all I need to say on this topic. Be mindful. Would be my best advice to you. And I hope to see you guys along a similar journey. I mean, if I see even a couple people, at least I've done something. But anyway, we'll catch you next time on L003. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please buy me a coffee if you want to support the channel. I really appreciate it. At buymeacoffee.com and the hyperlink in the description. I also, if you want your own target worked, there's instruction on how to do that. The cost of what it costs is on the description. And we'll catch you next time, guys, on L003.